Good morning, good morning. Hey, I'm just gonna check something out. My phone is telling me something crazy, so I'm trying to figure out if I'm live with you right now. Is it 10 a.m. where you are? It's so complicated, huh? It says 10 a.m. in Minneapolis here. My phone says, oh, I know why. It's 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to just do something here while you're here live with me. So let me, gosh, this time zone thing is it's just bonkers, isn't it? Let me see what I can do here. So I'm going to head over here to Facebook. See if I can double dog do this. I bet I can. I bet I can do two things at once. It's going to be kind of crazy, but I bet I can. I'm going to say, hey guys, I'm live now. Right. I am live now. There we go. Module 4. Free your spirit, your free spirit. I tell you, technology's got us rocking and rolling, doesn't it? Oops, I don't want that. Let's see here. I think this is good. Live now, module 4. There we go. I'm going to hit hide here. I'm going to come on over here. You guys, there's so much going on. Okay, there we go. 8 in Portland. 8 in Portland, I know, right? So it's 8 in Portland. It's 9 here for a couple more weeks, and it's 10 a.m. in Central Standard Time. My phone's telling me it's 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so I'm going to go for it. Regardless of whether you're here with me live, there I see it coming, regardless of whether you're here with me live or you are coming in for the recording, never you mind. It's all good, just as it is. I'm just super excited to be here with you. As always, it's such a deep and true honor to walk with you in this way, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's see here. So we've got a few people here. You're here. Awesome. Look at you guys. Very good. All right. Okay, let's do this. So before I actually launch into content, I just want to invoke you to write your questions. Yay, Starla. Write your questions, write your inspirations, write what's moving you, write what you need more of, write what's not working for you. You guys, this is the inaugural run of this Radical Self-Care Roadmap. And I know in my mind and in my heart that I have these great aspirations for bringing you into the fold of these practices and into the ways in which that I know that we can change ourselves, which ultimately positively impacts others in the world. And I know that I'm just one little lamp holder on this journey. So if you're not getting light shown in on where you want a little more light, then I'm just reminding you that you can always tell me that. So before I leave here, I'm going to go ahead and scooch over to Facebook. So I'm going to do the module. I'm going to go over to Facebook, and then I'm going to go over to my email, and then I'm going to go to YouTube. So I'm just going to make sure that anyone who has anything that they want to say has just that right way in which to say it and feels supported with me as we go. So just doing that. Got a little mosquito bite right here. Okay, so with that, we're going to officially start. You ready? All right, here we go. Okay. Welcome, welcome. Here you are, beautiful beings, as we move into module 4 of 4 for our 28-day Radical Self-Care Roadmap. Always and always, my cheeks hurt from smiling when I get here with you. And so we're going to just jump right into the content today. This is a really rich and profound module for me, and it also is particularly rich and deep, high, rising, and deep, because anything that is more subtle actually has much deeper roots and is much more potent. My teacher, Key, who so many of you have heard about through me, she always says, it's subtle like a Mack truck. And, and it's true. Anything that's subtle is infiltrating everything. So we're just right here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. There we go. And we're going to jump right on into the content. Okay, that's not the one I wanted. I want to go over here. Take you in the sideways way, and we're going to go right on down here to our module 4. There we are. I'm going to take you right, this is us happening right here. I'm going to take you right on into our workbook. All right, so let's get out of that. There it is. So this module 4, beloveds, is your free spirit. Now, what I want to say about this is keep in mind, I'm not saying free your spirit. I'm saying your spirit is already free, your free spirit. And there's 3 pieces to this. We're going to speak a bit about personal power. Then I'm going to tether a link from last week, which was all about heeding the wisdom of your very own heart, into an emotional awareness around envy, guilt, shame, and blame, which you told me are the things that so frequently in one way or another keep you stuck. So those are primary key emotions that I want to speak to in relationship to the self-care roadmap and creating a sustainable self-care program for yourself, because that's what we're doing. And then we're going to have our radical self-care wrap up. Now, hang on. I know we're not done here together, and we've still got a quarter of our time together, 25% of our time together, but we're starting to plant those seeds for how it is we take it from this community experience of showing up together every single day out into the world, so that you've got something you can sink your teeth into for your days and months and year ahead. So let's jump in. All righty. Wow. What happened here? Well, that didn't work for us, did it? Looks like something went sideways. So I'm going to take you over here. So you have your first page and your last page in your workbook. So you're not going to have your workbook right away, many of you. This is the challenge of doing it live. We've been doing so great. I'm going to get you in here. We're going to go right on over into Canva. Just hang with me, beloveds. Look, I'm taking you behind the scenes. Let me do this. Let me go back over here. Let me take you out of here. Now, hang on. Let me get this squared away. Take a little breather. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to edit all this out of here. Let me see this. So just take a little breather with me, a little patience if you'd be so kind. When the one woman show is most definitely revealing, huh? All right, so let's see what we got here. We're going to go back down here. I want page 42 through 52. All right, hang with me. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to go into my PDF. I know exactly what happened. I touched on page 42 and I didn't touch the rest of them. That was my bad entirely. Because I want you to have this done. We're going to download. I'm going to go ahead and refresh that and re-upload that for you right here, right now. I know I'm taking a little bit of extra time, and I apologize for that. This is my error. and I didn't check it. And when this sort of thing happens, I always wonder what is going on with the stars. Like what's happening astrologically? All right, I'm going to move this guy over here. I'm going to rename this. I'm going to open that. Okay, what just happened? Whoops. Oh, you beautiful beings. We're just working this out, aren't we? Okay, hang with me. Just take a breather. Ah, yeah. The Virgin Voyage, huh? Okay. Done. I'm going to take that. We're going to download that. Hang with me. My apologies if you're just showing up and you're getting to this late in the game. I just wanted to make sure that I am on this. Right here with you. And there we go. Okay, hang on. We're making progress. I'm going to go ahead and let me rename this first. So I'm just right on top of it. Whoops. Here. So I'm uploading a new module 4. And this is page 31 to 52. Good. Okay, hang on. You guys are being such troopers. Thank you so much. Let me go back over here. What's a girl to do, huh? We just got to go with the flow of this. I always think in these moments, as my teacher always says, when something goes a little bit sideways, she wants you to pay attention, right? That's the divine essence coming in, which came from yesterday's Sunday yoga practice. Let's look right here. Edit. All right, we're so close. We are so close. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to go right back in here. I'm going to hit that removal. Back in here. I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to do file. Now I'm going to move this guy over. You guys are so close. All the lovins. Let's see if this works. The door is going to open here any moment. My partner's leaving. You guys are just getting full on real life this morning. When we go live, we never know what's going to happen. Now the puppies are going to cry because they think we're going for a walk. All right, let's see here. Let's try this, you guys. All right. That's the one. There's someone outside. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. All right, we're going to try this again. He's giving. You guys, it's just an adventure. It's a full-on adventure. Hang on with me. Save. Let's see what we got. Now we're going to try this again. All right, I'm going to hop over here. Ah, perra. You guys. You might want to come back and watch this recorded, but I don't think so. Sí, por favor. So my partner is giving a bag of food to someone in need. This is real life. So one of the things that we do, and you've done this actually, there's extra funds that were left over from when we did our offering in January. And what we have is we have bags full of food. So when someone asks for money, we're just right here ready to give them what they need. All right, guys, I'm just hopeful that I've uploaded the correct one. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Let me try this again. Let me see what's going on. Hang with me, beloveds. There we go. Okay, we are golden. We are golden. All right. I love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. Let me get out of here. Got a bunch of stuff happening at the same time. All right. We are going to do this. Look at you, Michaela. I feel your pain. You're just hanging in the spaciousness. I love you guys. Okay. Ceremonial cacao and watching you in the reality. Totally in my reality. All right. Here's the deal. I'm going over here. I'm going to pull this up right now. I'm just confident it's going to be good. You just got to relax here, right? What more is there? Like for real, what more is there? There we go. I'm so proud of us. You guys are great. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to start over. Like we're just going to pretend those last 19 minutes didn't even happen. How about that? It's perfect. Dogs, giving food on the street, you name it. Okay, here we are. So here I am with you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Radical Self-Care Roadmap. Module number 4, your free spirit. So I'm going to go ahead without further ado and jump right on into the content. And I'm going to do a little screen share here. There we go. So this is it. So we're in module number 4, your free spirit. And please keep in mind, I'm not saying free your spirit. I'm saying that your spirit is already free. And we're going to be covering 3 different pieces to this. 1, I'm going to be speaking very specifically about your personal power, because you have the power to choose all of those things that are going to awaken you and give you freedom, provide for you the awareness that you are already free. Second of all, I'm going to be looking at the emotions, 4 in particular, envy, guilt, shame, and blame, which you have spoken about. When you spoke about why you signed up for this program, somewhere buried in your desire to take better care of yourself, to rise into your next best and highest evolution, were envy, guilt, shame, and blame. So we're going to talk about those and tease those out. And then finally, your radical self-care roadmap. Your radical self-care wrap up, as if to say, this is where we start to plant the seeds for how we take these 28 days together, even though we still have this entire week of this module, these next 8 days, 25% of our journey to walk together. There's going to come a point where you take that on and you carry it forth into the rest of your days, your weeks, your months, and your year. And so we want to make sure that together, you've got what you need to do that. So let's jump in here. All righty. Module number 4, your free spirit. Immediately I think of George Michael's song, Freedom, Freedom. So we're going right on into our very free spirit, because here's the deal. If you want to be free, dear one, free yourself. So no matter what you think or what you do, if you feel free, you have everything you have ever dreamed of having. So it has less and less to do with what's going on in the world outside and more to do with what's going on inside. So if you question this, it's because we're not necessarily defining freedom in the same way. So I'd like for us to get on the same page to start. From where I sit and from these teachings, freedom is the power of self-determination. It is to be in the possession of particular privileges. The privilege to take a bath, the privilege to put your earbuds in and listen to music, the privilege to eat healthy, the privilege to go for a walk in nature, the privilege to prepare yourself well before you enter into a conversation, a difficult meeting, a family dinner, any of those sorts of things. It is to be in the possession of particular privileges, and you choose those privileges, which at its root, in its truest sense, the word freedom is deliverance. And deliverance means to set free. So all of this to say, it comes from the source of all things. Freedom comes from a source deep within. It's not something out there. It's right here in the beginning, the middle, and the end of who you are, what you are, where you are. And it is where you can control your access to being free in all of your choices, in the life that you're living, so that when you wake up in the morning, you are plugged into that which nourishes you. You're able to move that which nourishes you through you, and you are able to receive the benefit of that nourishment. So I know that this is really thick. This word freedom is thick with context and perspective and culture, and that the reality that we live in is a material world. But all of that to say, if you want to be free, which is what this is all about, then be self-determined to be so. I'll say that again. If you want to be free, be self-determined to be so. So turn your attention to the sun and watch those shadows fall behind you, right? That is the key in this. Deliver yourself from bondage to freedom and possess the particular privileges of body, mind, heart, and spirit that bring you home and bring you back to your truest and most liberated state of being. So that's the big picture. That's why I say, again, your free spirit. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about personal power here. What I want to share with you in regards to this is that you are wildly, completely, and undeniably powerful. And this power, your power, is very, very personal. This is your uniqueness. This is what makes you you. And freedom is fully and completely an inside job. It is personal. It has very little to do with what's going on out there. And yet we often find that we're organizing our outer world in order to make sense of and to access this freedom from the inside out. This final module essentially is the pinnacle. It is the pinnacle and the purpose of this entire program. I'm going to say that again. This module, this final module, is the pinnacle and the purpose of this entire program. It's what we've been moving toward all along, ultimate freedom. It's the goal in every human's life. It is the culmination of the 4 secrets of body, mind, heart, and spirit that we come into in an awareness to say that you are the woman that the little girl inside of you needs. You have everything that you need to be productive, to be potent, to be impactful, to be peaceful, and to be free. That's what we're here to remember on this journey. It's what every woman desires, to be free. And it is what every self-care practice is helping us access and make manifest in our lives every single day on this journey and beyond. And in this final module, what we're going to be doing is fine-tuning your personal approach by self-care, simply by getting truly clear on what you desire, what benefits you versus what you may have been taught and what's good for you. For you to be free, you must remember that you are free to take care of yourself. You are free to ground, to take a bath, to walk in nature, to make choices that heal you, that nourish you. This is the key. Remember, from the very beginning, I told you, and I'll tell you again, that it is intention and it is conscious attention to anything and everything that in life that is going to either turn your attention toward the sun or the shadows. That is your choice. That is your freedom. And that is what we have been doing, are doing, and will continue to do. We do these things, more and more and more of these things that turn us toward the sun, and we keep it simple, and then we just simply pitch out what isn't working, and we bring in more and more and more of what is working, one baby step at a time. Now you're already doing this, but I want to take a step back because these four emotions, these are the game changers, not in a good way. These are the ones that shut you down, paralyze you, and stop you in your tracks from turning toward the sun. And so I want to talk about these. Envy, guilt, shame, and blame. When you are excited and you're on the path, if we will say, don't you just feel unstoppable? When you're energized and you're inspired and you're ready to take on the world, don't you feel as though you've got the whole world in your pocket? Isn't it true? And isn't it true that when we feel any of these emotions, like being thrilled to death about life and unstoppable and excited and inspired, those are never the problem, are they? The problem arises when we slip into some sort of closet emotion, where we separate ourselves, where we unplug ourselves from what is possible in terms of what is our right and within our capacity to access. These closet emotions are envy, guilt, shame, and blame, just to name a few. And sometimes we don't talk about them very freely because when we do, we feel uncomfortable. We feel uncomfortable to talk about the emotions, but on top of the already gnarly emotion, like guilt is kind of a gnarly emotion. Shame is kind of a gnarly emotion. And then when we go out and talk about them, oftentimes the person with whom we share our experience, our emotional experience, unless she's done some serious deep work, doesn't quite know what to do with our basket full of heaviness. So I'm going to talk about these four emotions and specifically their relationship to self-care. But first of all, I just want to define these as it relates to this program. Now, in a conversation with Candace, one of our beautiful women on this journey, who's a soul sister of mine, and she is also a life coach, she referred to the work of Brené Brown. I just want to be clear that I'm not specifically turning toward that work because I don't necessarily know Brené Brown's work very well. What I'll say is that I'm here to bring it in and through the etymology, the root of the word, which carries its own energy, and what good old Webster is saying about these words. So we're going to start from that place. So if you can just sort of clear the slate and let go of anything that you've thought or understood about these words, and let's just go to the root meaning. So envy. And I'm going to roll them out in terms of their definitions, and then I'm going to roll them out in terms of their definition in relationship to self-care right out of the gate. So envy. Webster defines it as a feeling of discontent or uncomfortable longing brought on by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. I'm going to say that again. When you envy something, you feel discontent or uncomfortably longing, like you have that desire because someone else has something in their possession, be it something material or a quality or luck, right? I'm going to take it a little bit further and say that this is an emotion that we feel when we see that someone has something that we have the perception that we don't have. Time, beauty, education, money, right? It may be real, it may not be real, but we're just going to enter into it from the perspective of perception because that's the place where it really matters. And furthermore, we not only feel like we don't have it, we feel like we cannot have it because we do not, for some reason, have a right to it, as if it's not in our right to possess it or within our caste or in our capacity to do so. So if that's what envy is defined as, I'm going to jump ahead and say this, that envy, being the feeling of discontent or uncomfortable longing brought on by someone else's possessions or qualities or luck, those things in another woman, right? Those things in another woman look like she has more freedom, she has more time, she has more money, she has more space, she has all of these things. Through the lens of self-care, what I'm here to say is that all of these qualities, energy, time, joy, peace, the freedom to take a bath, the freedom to ground yourself before a difficult conversation, the freedom to eat a piece of fruit versus a bag of chips, the freedom to stand up while you're working. If you're here on this journey, I'm here to say these are yours to have. And when another woman has these for herself, there ultimately is no space for us to envy someone. Ready for this? For us to envy someone who has what we also have the right to have. We just simply need to step into the awareness that we have that, to step into the practice that we have that. There is only room for us to champion our sisters and to celebrate her radical choice to cultivate a more conscious, more inspired, and a better life. Because when we champion that in her, we are going to be championing that opportunity within ourselves. Now, right away, I'm jumping right into the big gun. I'm jumping right into the one that's going to be the hardest for us to manage, envy, right? What I'm here to say is just hang with me, because I'm going to make some sense of this through blame and through shame and through guilt as well. So what I want you to do is to just feel this in your bones and blood, feel the resistance that arises, and know that you have everything within your power. You have everything that you need. You have everything already at your fingertips, and you've experienced it during these 22 days together, that this is how we find our way into plugging into source, letting that energy move in and through us, and being able to make positive impact in the world. And it starts with the tiniest thing, a glass of water, the drawing of a bath, stepping outside for 10 minutes. So if you have a right to the things that you see that someone else has, then envy doesn't have a place. Does that make sense? It doesn't have a place, because you have a right to all that you see that another has. Now, if you go, well, wait a minute, the money thing, I don't have as much money. I'm not saying that you have as much money or have as much time. What I'm saying is you have a right to those things, and you have the capacity to access those things. And if we look at it through the quantum physics perspective, time and energy and money essentially are illusions. They become what they become because we put our energy on those. So we're not going to get into all of that. I'm just going to say, focus on the little things. Do you have a right to draw a bath? Do you have a right to take a shower? Do you have a right to self-massage your feet with oil? Do you have a right to take a smoothie? Do you have a right to roll around on a ball? Do you have a right to step outside in the sun for 10 minutes? Start from that place. Okay, so that's envy. That's a big one. But I wanted to drop that one first, because now as we go through the other three, they're going to make a little bit more sense, and they're also going to make sense in relationship to envy. So we step back here again. Guilt. Guilt, when we say someone is guilty, we are saying that they've committed a specific wrongdoing. Or if we make someone feel guilty, we're persuading them to feel a certain way to manipulate their behavior. Even within, we do the same thing within our own selves. So the reason I bring this up is because, to further the definition, guilt is an emotion that you feel when you feel as though you have done something or you have something to which you do not have a right. So envy puts it out there. Guilt is, oh my gosh, I've got something or I've done something and I don't have a right to do that. So then when we look at guilt through the lens of self-care, if in fact it's a fact of having committed a specific wrongdoing, or there's a persuasion involved to make someone feel a certain way to manipulate their behavior, in the case of self-care, there's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong ever with going for a walk, right? Innately, in and of itself, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with drinking a glass of water or rising in the morning and dancing with the one who brung you, or saying your gratitudes, or journaling, or practicing yoga. There's nothing wrong here. And so if there's no wrongdoing, and there's no place for manipulation of your behavior from the outside nor from the inside, there's no space for guilt in self-care. So there's no space for envy, nor is there no space for guilt. So now we're going to go into the next one. Just be with this. Just sit with this. It might take a while for this to really sink in, because guilt and shame and blame and envy, whether they are voiced or not, they are big elephants in this room. They are big energetic pulls and control mechanisms within our own being, within our collective sisterhood, and within our culture as a whole. Now I'm going to look at shame. Shame is defined as a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. Shame is what we feel when we've done something that we perceive as dishonorable or that diminishes us in our own eyes or in the eyes of another. So when we look at shame in relationship to self-care, this again reminds us that there is no room for a sense of humiliation or distress related to what we're doing, because first of all, we're not doing anything wrong. We're not doing anything foolish. We're tending to ourselves. We're plugging into source again, like our ancestors did, like they did innately and organically in their tribes and in their villages. We're doing that again. We're saying enough already with the unplugging. Enough already with saying that I need to tend to everyone else first. No. Enough with that. I'm saying I'm coming right back to the source of caring for myself, and that is not wrong, nor it is foolish for myself, nor for any of my sisters. So therefore, shame also, here's the theme, doesn't have a place in relationship to self-care. It doesn't have a place because, baby, there is no room for humiliation here. There is no room for you perceiving that taking care of yourself is wrong or foolish. Set yourself free from that. Access your freedom once again in that. And then finally, sort of the opposite side of the sandwich, envy is out there saying, I want what you got. Shame and guilt are things we feel within ourselves. And then there's blame, where we look out, right? And Webster defines it as the assignment of fault or wrongdoing. And I'm here to say there's nothing wrong here. You've heard me say it. You're going to hear me say it. I'm going to stand on the park benches and on the mountains and say it forever, because it is what has set me free. There's nothing wrong here, right? Go through the crucible. Keep looking for the ways in which that everyone's needs can be met. Maybe not entirely and completely, and may we separate needs from desires. Needs are very limited. You got water, you got food, you got shelter. Those are needs. Everybody needs love. True, turn it on from the inside out. Teach others how to do it. It's what Jesus said, right? I can give the guy a fish, or I can teach him to fish, right? I'm teaching you to fish. Keep fishing and teach your daughters how to fish. That's what that's about. The assignment of fault or wrongdoing, that's where blame comes in. When we feel as though someone else has done something to violate us or taken something that we perceive was not theirs to take. So when there's blame and we're assigning fault or wrongdoing and it relates to self-care, I'm going to say it again, there's no wrong, there's no fault in taking care of yourself. There's no wrong in your sister's taking care of herself. If it's like puppies in a puppy pile and it means that you're going to have an elbow in your nose and you're going to have to pick something up, then that's your moment of choice. That's the heat and the pressure saying, okay, this is how we change entire systems of humanity. Women will be violated much more infrequently if they catch themselves at the early stage of the game and say, no, 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 no. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying that we are like frogs in the water. We got to catch ourselves early, lean into the comments and go, okay, no, that's not okay. Lean into the pressures. That's not okay. So that we are violated less frequently and with less intensity early on in the process. All of these things affect everything. One domino going down and you're affecting everything, beloved. So shame and blame and guilt and envy, they don't have a place here. Most often in our lives, we blame another for being selfish because we have somehow not learned how to care for ourselves or been taught that we have a right to do so. And although we secretly want to, we say, I want to take a bath, I want to massage my feet, that void or that lack of capacity in some way is resulting in us not wanting someone else to shine brightly when we feel like we are in the dark and don't know how to turn the light on. So all of these tiny little things, water at your desk, standing up, which I'm going to do right now, any and all of these things are the ways in which that you keep tending to and turning to the light and letting the shadows fall behind you. That's what this is all about, always and in all ways. And I stand here with a really broad base. That's sort of another funny thing to tell you, right? So making sense of that? Is that making sense? I'm just going to make sure I'm in my screen all right. There it is. Good. I'm good. I'm going to turn this. Oops. There we go. Okay. Get myself all situated for you. Full and true. Yeah, admit and amend it. Exactly. Yeah, resentment too. I mean, there's a lot in here. I'm just kind of pulling out those four big ones. The four big ones, but resentment is in there too. So I'm just right here saying, okay, like it's a total reshift. It's a total mental reset. It's a total reconnection to the heart. It's an embodiment. It's sensing those moments where we're like, that feels crooked or sideways. How do I change it from the inside? How do I stop asking her to change? Right? I think about beloved people that I know in my life who practice self-care for whatever reason, and the burden then falls on me. And I go, all right, what am I going to do about that in me? What am I going to do about that in me so that I can continue to make those shifts and changes? Huh? All right. So, and this is just the one that, comes to me again and again. Be the woman who straightens another's crown. Like that is if to say we are all divine. We are all queens. We are all worthy of the queen bath. And when someone else is struggling, and we watch her sort of going sideways. We watch her getting annoyed, getting angry. She's going to like go off. And she's someone that you've looked to or, felt like you're less than in some way or competed with in some way. What if you go, this just makes me want to cry. What if you go to her and sit next to her or reach out to her and go, hey, I'm feeling like there's something going on here. How can I support you? But not in front of people. Like you're not saying, how come you think you get to wear that crown? No, because anytime that a woman is envious, is blaming, is shaming, is feeling guilty, is feeling resentful, is feeling lost, is feeling separate, or is trying to separate herself, she's lost that connection to source, and you can plug her back in. And that grows our collective threads in and through all of us. I cannot stress it enough. Like, I don't care if I look crazy anymore when I love other women. I'm just going to keep loving them. And so that's your challenge for this module. That's your challenge for this module. How can you straighten another's crown? How can you love and support someone? How come when you see someone on Instagram or on social media, on Facebook, or in your family or in the community, how can you champion her? I'm not just talking about champion those women who are holding a baby in the grocery store line that are struggling, who have less money than you. I'm talking about champion all of them. Thank the ones who are up ahead. We have no idea what their lives are like. We have no idea what they go through or what they have gone through to get to this place. How do we champion one another always in all ways? How do you love a sister? How do you share with her? How do you give her support? How do you plug her back in? And when she's on the verge of making a mess of things, how do we not like, ooh, I'm backing out? How do we just be like, hey, I see you're struggling. How can I help you? How can I help you? How can I support you? I'm just here to say, I see you. I support you. I want to support you. Let me help you. I mean, you know it in the workplace, how that strengthens and grows us. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, sister. Okay, so we're going to leave it at that. And I'm just going to do a quick review. And we're going to come to this again at the end of our journey. But right now, coming to understand, you have started to do this. These are the things that you've done. I want you to remember this. These are the things that we talked about doing in the beginning. I want you to return to these. Are you coming to understand what's really in the way of you taking better care of yourself? Right? Are you doing that? List the ways, journal about the ways, talk about the ways, share your ways in our community, in our Facebook group. Are you putting into practice daily self-care that doesn't feel like another thing to do, but that feels instead like it's been waiting for you? Are you building a foundation for vitality, ease, and impact in your life through small, doable steps and a super supportive community? Do you feel us? Are you setting in motion the habits and practices that allow you to wake up inspired and ready? Because your energy cup is getting full and you've got so much goodness to get to in this life. Are you feeling that? Are you jump-starting your physical health, your emotional well-being, and your connections, your mental health, and your happiness? Are you seeing how personally and powerfully these practices positively impact your parenting, your partnering, and your work in the world? Are you seeing this? Are you seeing these seeds germinating? And are you creating a personalized, practical, radical self-care program just for you to help you navigate life and to rise into your next best and highest evolution? I think you are, dear ones. I see you doing this. And all of these pieces, they just continue to be here for you so you can keep doing it more and more and more. So your radical self-care wrap-up, I love this image so much. Just feet and a woman in a dress, bare feet, nature. This is the moment that you've been waiting for. We've all been waiting for this, where we take what we've been learning and practicing and putting in place in our lives, and we put it into a radical self-care schedule. You've already been doing it. This will be no huge step. It's sort of like when my teacher told me that you're going to get to a place where you can do a headstand, and just one day you're going to go, boop, oh, that was easy. Why? Because the foundation has been laid. You've strengthened what needs to be strengthened. You've turned your attention to what needs to be attended to. You've gained balance where you need balance. You've expanded your base and your foundation in the ways that serve you. You're paying close attention. You're integrating. You're breathing. You're doing these things. And so slowly and steadily. And I know, and I want you to hear that I get that we are 22 days into the journey, and 22 days is a fraction of a lifetime. Just because the little radish has germinated and has popped its head up out of the soil doesn't mean that it's not tender, that it's not fragile. So we need to keep tending to it. We need to water this. We need to not presume that this is going to run itself. We've got to keep doing it. So this is how you're doing it. This is how you begin to wrap it up in the perfect little package so that you can care for it and carry it with you throughout your life. I think about when I was in high school and we took this course, every woman in my senior year, oh my gosh, every woman in my senior year, only the women, right? This dates me. We had to blow an egg. We blew an egg. You took your little egg at home. We had to take this course. This was a required course. We took the egg and you had to blow it and you got everything out. And then you put clothes on this egg and you drew a little face on this egg and you built a little nest for this egg. Ready for this? And then this was a class on motherhood. And for the whole term, we had to carry that egg around with us. We had to care for that egg. If the egg broke or if we lost it, we failed the course and we had to take it again. I'm just here to say this is your baby egg. You're not going to fail, but you got to keep returning to it again and again. This is your baby. This radical self-care program, this is your baby. And this is the moment that we've been waiting for, where we take these pieces, these learning, these practices, and we put them in place in our lives into a radical self-care program. And if you've been showing up, which if you're here right now, I'm saying you have, these final days are going to be like icing on the cake. So what you're going to do is you're going to print 7 copies of this one, of your daily self-care schedule. Print 7 copies of that. I say do this for a month. Lay this out for you for 1 more month after we finish. Use these next days together to set up your next month, beginning on the 22nd of March. Take these teachings and let the schedule begin on the 22nd of March. Print 3 or 4 weekly calendars. All right, let's see. I'm going to just take a little look here. I'll take a little looky at the year. 1, 2, yep, I would say you could even do 1, 2, 3, 4. Print 5 of them if you so choose. Print 5 of these weeklies, and that'll take you through the end of May, even through a holiday where we eat and drink a lot, right? So you're going to print 7 dailies. You're going to print 5 weeklies, and you're going to print 1 monthly, and you're going to fill that out. You're going to fill that out. Now, how am I going to fill that out? You're going to go back to the module where we had a menu of things that we could practice. And you're going to keep it so simple for yourself. You're not going to overwhelm yourself with a million things to do. You're going to do just a little bit and then a little bit more and a little bit. You're going to take the things that you've already been doing and that you're doing well, and you're going to put those in. You're going to put those things in you were doing before you even came to the Radical Self-Care Roadmap. That's what you're going to do. You're going to bring in all these pieces. You're going to bring in all these new little things, these nuances, these subtle shifts and changes, and you're going to lay it out and you're going to put it somewhere where you can see it. These are my day by day. I'm going to look at this every morning. I'm going to lay it out for myself. This is my weekly. I'm going to take a look at that on Sunday so that I'm ready for the week. This is my monthly. I'm going to keep looking at that, keep looking at that, keep looking at that. You're going to look at those things every single day. It's part of your morning ritual. And you're going to get ritual. You're going to get morning ritual. You're going to get workday ritual. I'm going to share these things with you as a part of your next steps. Before the end of this week, you're going to get those things like I promised. I said I'd get them to you last week. I'm bringing them to you now. So ultimately, you can do this however you want to, but might I suggest that you schedule yourself for a whole week of the dailies. You're going to do 1 full month, and you're going to do a week through the end of May. So you're going to have 5 weeklies. And you're going to fill those in. I'm going to say use pencil. I like these little extra external erasers so that when I do erase, I can't see anything, right? The pencil eraser on the end of the pencil sometimes doesn't erase as potently. Again, it will still and always be flexible. That's why I say write it in pencil. But do not let this variability stop you. It's part of life. Things are going to shift and change, and you got to be ready with your eraser to like get in there. Have you ever, maybe I'm going to totally call myself out. Have you ever not erased something because it was way too much to erase? It was like way too much to erase. So you're like, I did this here and now I have to just get a new page, or I'm not going to do it because it's going to take too much to erase. That's the beauty of these guys. There's lots of eraser here. And you get a pack of erasers. They come together. This is a German eraser. Anyway, doesn't matter. So Do not underestimate the power of doing this exercise, and do not underestimate the power of writing it down, and do not underestimate the power of turning yourself toward the sun, seeing these things every single morning when you rise. I suggest that you do this through the end of May. And furthermore, I suggest that you continue to do this through the end of this year. And I am absolutely certain your life will blow up like a geyser in all the best ways. All right, my dear, I'm just here to remind us that you are free. So there it is. That is our module 4, personal power, envy, guilt, shame, and blame, putting it into practice so that we are doing our radical self-care wrap-up for this week. And I want to see pictures of those things. I want to see what moves you, shapes you, changes you, all of those things. So where are we? Let's see here. Okay. I want to know from you, let's scoot this forward and scooch this up just a little. There we go. I want to know what questions you have. How does this resonate? Are you like, hey, wait a minute, like, tell me that here. I want to hear that. I want to see that. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go over into my email and see if there's any questions. Right. I'm going to head on over here and see if there's any. Free bird. Why do you say free? Oh yeah, we're free birds. We're total free birds. Thank you for the wonderful information. Amen. I'm seeing amens. Right, that's it. Great. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to head on over into my email. Just make sure there's nobody saying something that hasn't had access to the other content. Good. Not seeing anything there. And then I'm going to head on over to our Facebook page and just make sure there's nothing over there. So here's something sort of a behind the scenes little thing, since there's just like so much stuff happening. So much stuff going on in our world. My whole world right now is going to be focused, after I finish this program, on a complete redo of my website, and there's going to be a whole new way of doing membership. So all this sort of, I mean, technology challenges are going to be technology challenges. They're just going to keep on happening and keep on coming up. That's just the nature of what we got going. So let's see here. I'm not seeing anything here. All right. I think we got it, you guys. Let me head on back over here. I think we got it. I am not my thoughts. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I love this. This is an interesting thing. And Starla, this may or may not resonate with you. So I am not my thoughts, right? I would shift the language of that if it was me. And instead of saying I am not something, I would say I am stronger than I think. Or that I would say I am more than I think, right? I am all that, right? So that's as if to say that there's a lot happening, shifting and changing, coming our way in and through all the time in all ways. And we just keep turning ourselves back to, I'm way bigger than that. Like, I'm way bigger than that. I'm stronger than I think. I'm bigger than I think. I'm more than I think. I'm all that and more, right? Any of that, so that we shift away from saying I'm not something. So, and turn our attention to how we expand and hold it all together. Yeah. I'm more than what I think. Yeah, I'm more. I'm all that. Like, I just would be like, I'm all that. I'm all that. Like, as if to say, anything out there that's possible that I want, it's mine. It's mine. It's mine. Right? There it is. Okay. Your care to presenting the information has made it to digest. Thank you. Not my thoughts. Thank you. I need to absorb this before I can comment. Yeah, I get that too. There's a lot here. Cindy Swinton. So yeah, messed up the time. Did you or did I? Like it's changed each week. So the modules haven't come out at the exact same time each week. We got life schedule stuff. So I'm there with you every morning at 8 a.m., but the modules come out at different times, as I mentioned in the beginning. Those would be shifting. There's Dina. There it is. Michael, I feel your pain. It's all good. All right, new comments. Let's see what we got here. After listening yesterday, the simple thing of cleaning out the fridge, doing a list of shopping, and just that little practice just helped. It does. It totally does. All right, I could keep you here all day. I've already monopolized an hour of your time today. I love you. Thank you so much for being here with us. And I look so very, very forward to our continued journey. I'll see you in the morning tomorrow. Questions, comments, all of it, bring it my way. I want it. I want lots of it. And you do too. So keep it coming. Big love to you. Ciao.